Hey guys, Cyber Viking here. I want to talk to you about some tips for your streams that I have learned over the past 2 years of streaming on Mixer and now on Twitch. For those of you who don't know, I started out streaming in the beginning of 2019 on the platform Mixer. Spoiler alert, it didn't go very well. I began streaming there and I built a good following up and I had a great time doing it. But the reality is the growth that I was seeing was not sustainable. At that point, I was streaming every single day for whatever hours that I possibly could, but there wasn't any kind of set schedule. The job that I was working then didn't allow me to have a set schedule, and I always ended up streaming for whatever hours I was just playing video games. I've learned a lot since then, and I want to share a little bit of that with you. So, here are 4 tips that I have learned since I started streaming. Let's get into it. All right, first thing, networking is important, but it's not that important. See, when I started streaming, I thought that the best way to grow was to use Instagram and Twitter and just following other people on Twitch to make my channel grow in a follow for follow style. That's not a healthy or sustainable way of creating growth. You see, when I was spending time developing relationships, I was lacking in developing my own content. The flip side of that is also true. The people who I was following and getting to know better were spending time in their content, and while they might follow me back, they weren't spending any kind of meaningful amount of time in my chat and watching my content. Because the reality is, it wasn't that interesting. Now, it is really important to say, I don't see other streamers as my competition. Instead of having that kind of mindset, my goal is to be creative, to see my own self as my competition. Creative blocks in my ability to develop better ideas and in my perseverance of actually putting out content for you guys. My goal is to build my content and create good community. That's the first step in growing your own channel, is focusing on you and not on other people. So the second one is actually pretty counterintuitive, and that is you don't grow while you're live streaming. Imagine, if you will, a YouTuber who only has their videos capable of being found for 4 hours a day. It would be ridiculous for a major YouTuber to have their content only discoverable for a few hours a day. So the same thing is true on Twitch. Those hours that you're spending not online, you just aren't discoverable. And even if you were to stream every single day of the week, you just can't compete with other platforms like Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Discoverability is a huge part of your growth because people can't follow you if they can't find you. So the number 2 thing that I have learned since I started streaming is what you're seeing right now. This YouTube channel and other platforms like it help me to become discoverable 24/7. Which, while we're on the subject, I do stream on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I would love to have you come join me over there to discuss some of these things and see if you have a different opinion than me. I love getting to know people and I love to ask questions of them. So hop on over there and join us sometime in chat. Third thing, consistency is key. This is such a no-brainer that it's almost not fair to include it in my list. I have failed at this a lot, and a lot of other people fail at this too. Life gets in the way. This is why I'm still a small streamer. I have not yet mastered the ability of being consistent. I built up a good following on Mixer, but then I went completely off the grid for about 3 months while I was going through some changes in my life, changing jobs, moving, and had some health situations with my parents. These are all things that forced me to just get out of the game of streaming for a little while, and I just wasn't dedicated to my stream in a way that could help me be consistent. The result of that is I lost followers. Not because people didn't like me, but because the internet is fickle. People jump from one thing to the next based upon what captures their attention. Being able to be consistent and staying in front of your followers is a big key part of being able to grow yourself in your stream. I failed at this right at a crucial point, right when Mixer decided to shut down. And so when I began my journey on Twitch, I really began that journey starting over from scratch because I wasn't able to keep people in my community coming back. That's something I have learned and I'm growing from. Make sure that you grow from that idea as well. Stay consistent and you will be able to grow as well. The fourth thing that I've learned since I started streaming is that you can't be afraid to stop gaming to talk to your chat. I am not a professional gamer, and I'm willing to bet you aren't either. Because I'm not a professional gamer, people aren't coming to my stream to watch me game. They're coming to get to know me as a person. You spending time in your chat is a crucial aspect of growing your community. Streaming is basically TV that you can have a conversation with. People in today's society feel disconnected from one another, and that is why streaming services are booming. People want to feel connected, and the only way they're going to do that is if they're in your channel and you are talking to them. Make sure that you don't miss out on the opportunity to build community. Let a few minutes pass in between your games and talk to the people who are in your chat. You can still continue to game, but don't act as if they are only there to watch your game. That's a big reason people leave, is because they don't feel engaged. So those are my 4 tips that I have learned about streaming since I began 2 years ago. I've made a lot of mistakes and I'm growing from those mistakes, and I hope that you will stick with me for this journey. If you disagree or you just want to argue because, it's the internet and that's what people do, let me know down below in the comments. I'd really love to have you join me as well in my stream. Like I said, I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 o'clock Eastern. Come join me and talk to me in person. I'd love to get to know you there. Thanks.